A world where empires rise and fall, often oblivious to each other's existence, is history's greatest untold story. But what if two titans, separated by the vast, unknown ocean, suddenly collided? In this alternate timeline, a world of speculation, not history, we explore such a monumental encounter. Image_shorts_1, a lone figure seen from behind, silhouetted against a dramatic sunset over a tumultuous sea, holding a scroll. Image_shorts_2, two robed scholars back to camera, walking toward a massive illuminated globe, their silhouettes stretching long. Image_shorts_3, an extreme close-up of an ancient artifact, perhaps a weathered jade mask, weathered by time and mystery. Imagine the disciplined samurai, honed by centuries of feudal warfare, clashing with the fearsome jaguar warriors, masters of ritual combat and jungle ambush. What would unfold when the steel katana met the obsidian macuahuitl? Image_shorts_1, a silhouette of a samurai unsheathing a katana, blade glinting, seen from behind. Image_shorts_2, two Aztec warriors, backs to camera, observing a strange ship from a hidden vantage point in dense foliage. Image_shorts_3, a detailed close-up of the intricate weaving of a samurai's armor plates. This is the tale of an impossible meeting, a cultural earthquake that would reshape two worlds. What if samurai reached the Aztec Empire? Image_shorts_1, a lone Japanese warship, a takabun style, seen from behind, sailing into an unknown misty harbor. Image_shorts_2, two figures, one in samurai armor and one in Aztec regalia, backs turned, facing the vast ocean horizon. Image_shorts_3, a close-up of a shimmering obsidian blade, its sharp edge reflecting light. The year is 1603, early Edo period Japan. Lord Sanada Hiroshi, a skilled daimyo on the losing side of a recent power struggle, found himself in a desperate situation. Rather than face execution or humiliating exile on a minor island, he chose a perilous gamble. With a loyal contingent of 2,000 souls, samurai, artisans, farmers, and shipwrights, carrying vital seeds and tools, he set sail from the coast of Honshu. Their mission: to find a legendary eastern land, whispered about in old maps, or simply to vanish into the ocean's embrace. Meanwhile, across the unforgiving Pacific, the mighty Aztec Empire flourished. In this alternate timeline, the Spanish conquest failed to destroy them. By 1603, under the iron rule of Emperor Cuauhtli, Tenochtitlan pulsed with life, a vibrant metropolis built on a lake, maintaining an order enforced by ritual and tribute. After months of relentless voyaging, battered by storms and currents far beyond their experience, Lord Hiroshi's fleet finally spotted land. Not the rumored islands of gold, but a vast, unfamiliar continent teeming with lush, alien vegetation. As the Japanese scouts landed, they were met by indigenous fishermen, whose initial awe quickly turned to fear. The sight of heavily armored warriors and strange, loud ships was unlike anything they had ever witnessed. Word of the men from the east, born on winged mountains, spread like wildfire through the local tribes, eventually reaching the ears of Emperor Cuauhtli in Tenochtitlan. He dispatched a small detachment of eagle warriors to investigate, convinced they were either gods or a grave omen. The inevitable first encounter was a tense standoff. The Japanese, seeking resources and a new home, attempted peaceful communication. But the language barrier, combined with cultural misunderstandings, led to a tragic skirmish over a sacred Aztec site, mistakenly used by the Japanese for timber. The disciplined formation and steel weapons of the samurai, though outnumbered, proved devastating against the obsidian arms of the Aztecs. The small Aztec detachment was routed, suffering heavy losses. Emperor Cuauhtli was enraged, but also deeply troubled by the reports of their strange, sharp blades and thunderous devices. But this was only the beginning. Lord Hiroshi, despite the victory, knew his position was precarious. He ordered the construction of a fortified settlement, a miniature Japanese castle town, on a defensible plateau overlooking the coast. He called it Shin-Nihon, New Japan. Emperor Cuauhtli, refusing to tolerate an uninvited presence in his domain, declared the foreigners a threat to the natural order. He sent a grand embassy, not of war, but of intimidation, demanding tribute and obedience from the mysterious newcomers. Lord Hiroshi met the embassy with stern formality, dressed in his finest armor. He offered gifts of Japanese silk and ceramics but refused any notion of subservience, explaining their need for a new homeland. The cultural chasm was immediately apparent. The Aztecs saw Hiroshi's refusal as a grave insult, a challenge to culturalist divine authority. Sporadic skirmishes escalated into systematic raids on Japanese foraging parties, and fierce, if unsuccessful, attempts to breach Shin-Nihon's defenses. The Japanese, for their part, learned of the vastness of the Aztec Empire and their ritualistic practices, including human sacrifice. This fueled a growing conviction among the samurai that they were not just settlers, but bringers of a superior moral order. A greater conflict was brewing. Emperor Huaitli, exasperated by the persistent defiance of these stone-skinned strangers, marshaled a vast army. Tens of thousands of warriors from across the Triple Alliance converged on Shin-Nihon, determined to crush the Japanese threat once and for all. Inside Shin-Nihon, Lord Hiroshi's forces were severely outnumbered, perhaps 20-1, but they possessed superior defenses, steel weapons, and a handful of matchlock arquebuses and small cannons salvaged from their ships. The Aztec assault was ferocious, waves of warriors crashing against the fort's palisades. They relied on overwhelming numbers, attempting to scale the walls with ladders in sheer force. But the Japanese held their ground. Volleys of arrows and arquebus fire tore through the Aztec ranks, followed by devastating close-quarters combat, where steel easily pierced cotton armor. The small cannons, loaded with grape shot, opened devastating gaps in the dense Aztec formations, their thunderous roar and deadly projectiles sowing panic among warriors unaccustomed to such firepower. As the sun set on the first day of battle, the ground around Shin-Nihon was littered with shattered shields and abandoned weapons, revealing the heavy toll of the assault. Emperor Huaitli watched from his command post, his face etched with grim realization. This was not mere defiance, it was a fundamental shift in the nature of warfare. The old ways, the sheer force of numbers, were failing against an enemy who bled but did not break, who wielded weapons of metal and thunder. Huaitli, a brilliant strategist in his own right, quickly adapted. He ordered a strategic withdrawal, shifting from direct assault to a protracted siege, cutting off supply lines and harassing the Japanese with continuous, smaller attacks. For Lord Hiroshi, the initial euphoria of victory was tempered by the stark reality. They were isolated, surrounded by an entire empire, and their limited supplies would not last forever. The nature of the war had changed. The war for Shin-Nihon evolved into a grinding, desperate struggle. The Aztecs, unable to breach the fort, resorted to psychological warfare, nightly drumbeats echoing through the jungle, constant ambushes, and attempts to turn the jungle itself into a weapon against the Japanese. The Japanese, in turn, learned to fight in the jungle, adopting ambush tactics, training local tribes who harbored resentment against Aztec rule, and developing lighter, more agile forms of armor for the tropical climate. A fragile truce eventually emerged, driven by mutual exhaustion and a grudging respect for each other's resilience. Neither side could achieve total victory without bankrupting themselves in blood and resources. The result was an uneasy stalemate. Lord Hiroshi's rogue Japanese settlement carved out a coastal dominion, Shin-Nihon, a fortified trading post and cultural bridgehead that remained under constant vigilance. This new Japanese presence irrevocably altered the balance of power in Mesoamerica. Neighboring tribes, seeing the Aztecs' vulnerability, now had a powerful new ally or oppressor to consider. The Aztecs, though never fully conquered, were forced to adapt. They began to experiment with metalworking, spurred by captured Japanese weapons, and developed new defensive strategies against firearms. Their religious practices, particularly human sacrifice, became a point of deep contention. This fundamental cultural conflict over sacred practices remained an unresolved fault line between the two civilizations. Cultural exchange, though violent at first, began to slowly trickle in. Maize and cacao made their way onto Japanese ships, while silk, steel tools, and new agricultural techniques were introduced to Mesoamerica. The news of Shin-Nihon eventually reached the shogunate in Japan, initially met with disbelief. But reports of fertile lands and exotic resources, coupled with the success of Lord Hiroshi, spurred further, larger expeditions. The Pacific, once an impenetrable barrier, became a new frontier. A regular, albeit arduous trade route was established. linking Japan with this new world centuries before the Europeans fully dominated the seas. The legacy of this encounter was profound. While the Aztec Empire in its original form eventually fractured under internal and external pressures, the Japanese presence ensured a different future for Mesoamerica. No single victor emerged, but a hybrid culture began to form. Architects blended Japanese aesthetics with Aztec forms. New languages emerged, and a new, distinct Pacific Rim identity started to take shape. The world stage was forever altered. With a powerful Japanese foothold in the Americas, European colonization, when it eventually arrived, faced a formidable established rival, leading to a much more complex and multipolar global history. This impossible meeting gave birth not to a simple conquest, but to a tumultuous, violent, yet ultimately transformative encounter. The shogunate and the Aztec Empire, through their clash, forged a new world. Every empire has a story history forgot. This has been Historix Vault. More are coming. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.